features that we give. At the end of the day, they would like to understand what is the benefit to them. And of course, any assets they buy, of course, as far as the car is concerned, I know for sure they don't keep it for more than 3 years or so. But let it be. They would like to see that the car doesn't depreciate faster. So any product that they buy, they would like to see that the value should not depreciate faster. And the value, at times, we feel that buying a luxurious car, what kind of a return they would expect. But yes, they expect a return out of that as well. Returns in terms of values, the value in terms of safety, in terms of status. So even assets like cars is becoming an investment for them. And last but not the least, is spending should be noticed. Lifestyle, that's a very, very well guarded, a very well secret, which they do not want you to dwell into. Please. Needs are very, very personalized. Okay, probably they do not even want to get their family people involved into the decision-making process. Yes, they are very, very good. Once you are really good at them, you provided a good services, a good product, they stand loyal to you. They just don't change loyalty very fast because they don't like to deal with too many people. And they are also going ahead and, giving referrals. Just let me share with you, in our group, 35% of our sales are coming from referrals. So if one is a good salesman and he has good loyal customers, I think 35% of his sales is just coming without much of an effort. They are very, very hardworking. They are very physics conscious. As the age goes by, they become very health conscious as well. Luxury is more of a requirement, as I said. And to summarize, any product, primarily they look into these three things. What is the expected returns? What's the tolerable risk? And what is the time factor? Time factor in terms of the returns, time factor in terms of the products. Okay, this is just a small slide. Just tells you what they think, which is what you feel as well and what they feel as well. This is very important in these days. As we have also evolved, we realize this. Earlier, HNIs, they dealt only with the highest of the ranking in the organization, whether it's a director or a vice president of the company. But since quite some time, as you develop a team to an extent that they have become capable and competent enough to really deal with such HNIs, the task becomes much easier. And we have invested in the development, providing them knowledge, confidence, enthusiasm when they are then determined with a very greater instinct. Because whoever goes and meets the HNI, remember, they represent us. They represent our company. They represent our brand name. And they are the ambassadors of our company. So if they falter, it is the company which gets the wrong. And where these HNIs are available, where do you find them? You do not find them by cold calls, honestly. You find them where they are. They are at the clubs, they are at the gatherings, they are at the very, very fine parties, because usually also these people are not very, very comfortable attending all the parties, as they don't like crowd, they don't like too much of a gathering. And just to talk about, just delivering a product is not enough, it's just not enough. It's got to be backed by a proper, a complete, wholesome service. So when I was talking to you that we leave it lot to down the line, we really develop them. We want that they should be capable enough to interact with HRIs. Lately, the concept of self-managed teams is in the roads, okay? And I really call them the entrepreneurs into the making, because we really teach them a lot that how they should plan, how they should research, they should know the like and dislikes, get contact to the because it's important, you know, when you meet HNIs, you just don't meet them directly. You should have a contact who can influence them. And of course, I talked to you about the well-planned and well-prepared. Challenge is to make most out of the opportunity. You have to understand that when you meet an HNI, the time is an essence, is a factor that you need to take into consideration. It's a very short time, and you need to say a lot of things. So you need to be very well prepared. Every time that you meet an HNI, you need to go prepared. Just not, every morning you just put a card, let's go and meet an HNI. No. I mean, everywhere you need to be really knowing a lot about them, and you need to be prepared. They like to be recognized. That's a good thing, and you should see that they are recognized. That's it, and the journey goes on. Thank you very much.
Jayendra, just a few quick questions. Very interesting, because you deal with customers who buy Rolls-Royce, you deal with customers who buy BMWs, you deal with customers who buy Hyundai. So it's across a diverse range of kind of clientele that you have. You said 35% of your existing customers come through referrals. So is lead generation also an important part of your business strategy when you go ahead, and how do you do lead generation in the HNI space? Because a lot of people have the big issue of generating leads in HNI space.
Well, as I said, in fact, it is very clear we cannot have lead generations through cold calls. Cold calls, they really put them off. So it is important. I put too much weightage on the referrals, because once you have a very good, happy, loyal customer, then they would not be falling behind to put you on to more customers. And when they put on to more customers, actually they influence the sale. And that's how, you really get. So I only want to say that as many customers that you get, ensure that every customer is important to you, and that whether they buy or not buy, whether they take your product or they don't take your product, but they should be happy with your services, so that at least they are able to give a referral. And that's it. Okay? At the end of every transactions, do not forget to say, sir, if you're happy, please give me a referral. I'll be obliged.
I think it makes sense. The second question I had was in terms of, you build a team of more than 3,000 professionals. To get the whole team to actually talk the same language, how do you achieve that? Because many of us struggle with, having a team of 5-7 people and all of them talk the same language. So what steps have you all taken to build such a strong team to deal with so many HNIs?
Let me tell you, in fact, like sometimes we have a feeling that let's go and buy such people, quality people. But to be honest, it's very, very difficult, very difficult. And even if you get them, you cannot be too sure whether they will fit into your culture. They will fit into your style of working. So yes, whoever you get, you need to put in a lot to train them. You need to put in a lot to ensure that they fit into your style of working. So for those, we run the academics continuously. We have tutors who are actually trained by our company under the program of training the tutors. So, they try to impart those kind of a training, and everywhere after the training, we do some kind of a critical evaluations to understand whether they've grasped or no, which something which is very lacking in the training programs. They do the training, it is a monologue, and they just finish the training without even understanding whether the audience who is there is really understood or not understood. So critical evaluations is very, very important, I think.
So training plays a very key
role. Very vital role. Training is perpetual, it is on and on. It cannot be said we just train it, it is not. There are a lot of referral courses that is continuously, as the time changes, that they need to really be up to date on a lot of things.
Is anybody in the audience we have time for one or two questions,
Please.
because we've run out of time. I'll repeat the question. The question is that in the business we have unequal competition between banks and IFAs. How do we tackle such unequal competition?
Can I make one thing clear? It's not your business. It's any business. The competition is going to be unequal. Every business has got an intense competition. The age has already come, wherein a lot of MNCs and a lot of foreign companies are here in India now. And there are bigs, there are smalls. So competition is everywhere. Everybody needs to find their way out to really get through. You need to really reorient the business process to understand how is that we can get through. So it's everywhere, even in our business, because there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of products, and customers tend to get confused with those products. And there are a lot of other medias as well who really add fuel to the fire in confusing those things, by going through certain, whatever. So it's important that, we need to really find a way out ourselves, particularly to the business specifics.
And just to add what, because I know them for so many years, I think one of the things that they have done is stayed focused on what they want to achieve, and they have not let outside noise distract them. So right from being a one dealer, one company, to being focused on, like I said, they have talked about mobility as a solution. The moment you talk of mobility, you talk about aeroplanes, whether it's in air, whether it's in water, whether it's on the land, or whether it's off-road. So that's the focus that they have created and gone ahead with it.
You can add?
Yeah.
It is totally to do with the belief. Belief in oneself, belief in yourself. Because
can
when
I ask a question? Yeah. Jayendra, it's a very nice presentation. Just two questions.
Sure.
If you want, I can talk in Gujarati. Badane saru padto hai to. Basically, when you deal with HNIs, you're dealing with a physical product, which people, when you talk about cars, you're talking about physical products which people can actually look and feel and actually drive and experience it. But when we talk about financial products, it becomes very difficult for people to do that journey. So it's more of a different product once between cars and this. So what do you think? How do we actually look at it in the same way so that we can actually give them that experience, that because it becomes very difficult to have a physical world and to have a e-world or whatever. So one is this issue. Second is when you talk about your own products, like you have 5 brands, BMW, Roche. So how do you sort of look at the client as to, you may be having an X commission in an X vehicle, maybe a B profit in margin in a B vehicle. So how do you sort of actually categorize and sort of between your own competitive products, how do you sort of place it for the client?
Fine. I'll answer your first question first. We are not just a product delivery people, okay? We are also service providers. And you can understand, in fact, selling a product may sound to be much easier because I'm not manufacturing a product. I just put it on a platter and give it to you. Important is the after sales. So which is really taking a lot to really provide that kind of a service, because if you think that I can have loyal customers just by selling a product, it cannot happen. I'm attached to him, to a product, through his life course. So I'm providing service till the product lasts with that client. So maybe, in fact, you can relate this, that it is much tougher task because I just do not have a transaction ending with the sales. It is carrying on for quite some time till the product is lasting with the customer. So as far as that is concerned, and the second question was, how do we deal with all this when we have so many products? What we do is that we treat every product as a different entity. They are just separate entities with a separate infrastructure, separate manpower, separate financial resources, and all. So when you have those, there is no mismatch. You can even find my 2 people who are dealing in two products, they will be competing in the market to push their product. That's it. So everybody, has to earn their own bread. That's it.
So, thank you, Jayendra bhai. I know that there are many more questions, but due to lack of time, and I'm sure lunch is keeping us waiting. But Jayendra bhai is around for some time in case you want to ask any interesting questions on all these fancy boats, yachts, or any of the cars. He is very much there for some more time before he goes ahead and goes back to his business. So thank you for taking your valuable time.
Thank you very much.
And coming out here.
I love to be with you, all of you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Prem.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your valuable insights.